Hey everyone, and welcome back to Scandalous Media. It's Alana here today, and we have to talk about the latest drama surrounding Kim Kardashian and her sister, Kourtney Kardashian. This topic will be pretty heavy because there will be themes of secret hatred, envy and jealousy, bitterness, husband insecurity, and so much more. Without further ado, here is everything you have to know about the Kim and Kourtney fight over Dolce & Gabbana. Make sure to watch till the end because I will give you my thoughts about this from a psychological point of view and lightly mention some of their previous fights that shed light on my opinion. Make sure to like and subscribe, follow us on our social media for more, comment down below if you're Team Kourtney or Team Kim, and as I always say, all opinions are welcomed here even if they don't correlate with mine, so feel free to give it your all. Turn on the bell notifications for more, and let's begin. On Sunday, May 22, 2022, Kourtney Kardashian and Travis Barker tied the knot for the third time in an extravagant ceremony in a villa owned by Dolce & Gabbana in Portofino, Italy. Kourtney walked down the aisle in a custom Dolce & Gabbana corseted mini dress with lace detailing. It sure was something to say the least. Meanwhile, Travis also sported a suit designed by Dolce & Gabbana. Basically, what you have to know about Travis and Kourtney is that their entire wedding vibe and theme was Dolce & Gabbana. She wore many pieces from their work during her bridal era and in her vision had a very Italian Dolce & Gabbana vibe. Kim Kardashian has always been known as the most famous Kardashian and the most known in terms of the fashion industry from the family. Even with Kendall Jenner being the model of the family, Kim has always gotten so much more recognition for being a fashion icon. So naturally, she has known and worn Dolce & Gabbana many times. According to Kim, they've been asking her for years, even before Kourtney's wedding, if they can work together. After Kourtney's wedding, Kim got a call saying they wanted her to creatively direct their fashion show in Milan, which was taking place in September 2022, just a few months after Kourtney's wedding. Kim felt like it was such a huge opportunity that she didn't want to pass it up, especially because Kim has mentioned that in the past they have asked her to work on a book with them, but now they're asking her to creative direct an entire fashion show. So it was definitely a big jump and a massive opportunity. Kim does go on and mention that she was concerned about the collab, especially because it was happening so quickly after Kourtney's wedding. She said, "They want me to do a collection and design. I think it's a little too soon after Kourtney's wedding and I want to wait a year." She even asked them to push it a year, but they are a brand and they're not going to bend if they don't want to, even if you're Kim Kardashian. So to Kim, it felt like a take it now or never type of opportunity. Kourtney, when she finds out, goes on to say, "I just feel like there is such an abundance of opportunities. It isn't about business. There is just so much, and it takes precedent over hurting your sister. It is legit copying my wedding. Everything that I did with Dolce & Gabbana was pulling references from the 90s archival looks." She then adds, "It is just stupid because it is a deeper thing than that. It is about where people are grabbing whatever's in the way. It is such an abundance and an excess. It is never enough. It is never okay to just not do something or turn something down." So basically where Kourtney is coming from is that Kim has all these opportunities and to Kim it's never enough. She'll always feel like she needs to do more or take on something else, and this time it came at the expense of her sister's wedding and feelings. I get where Kourtney is coming from, but I also get where Kim is coming from. Kourtney is treating business too personally. You can't be mad because you have a sister who does enjoy taking the opportunities and is constantly working. Also, when Kourtney and Kim talked, Kourtney kept saying outrageous things like, "But I don't know why you're like this," and "There has to be something much deeper about why you're like this," and Kim just nodded and apologized. It takes a lot to swallow your pride when someone is constantly questioning your character and making it seem as if you have a serious problem, and then just nodding and still saying, "Sorry I hurt your feelings." I can safely say out of all the Kardashians, Kim does work the hardest and doesn't take breaks based on what's happening in her personal life. Khloe has clocked out, Kourtney has clocked out and continuously threatens to clock out of the fame. Even Kendall and Kylie have set their business lives aside to attend to their personal lives. And it's fine to do that, but don't try and push that type of work ethic onto someone else and then get mad why they're the most famous and brands are reaching out to work with them and not you. If Kourtney wanted to be a Dolce & Gabbana ambassador or be asked to creative direct with them, why isn't she putting in the work? The show is about Kim's vibes and looks because she's been building herself up to be a fashion icon for a decade now. And we all know Kim will crawl her way up to the top because that's where she wants to be. It doesn't suddenly make her less than or whatever. Kourtney doesn't put in that effort, so naturally we don't associate her with fashion as much as we would Kim. But let's continue, cause it gets worse. Kourtney then goes on to say she has a very personal relationship with the brand, that they've been friends for 5 years, and every summer she goes to their home in Portofino. But this is also what I mean when I say Kourtney is taking things from a personal aspect, because Dolce and Gabbana are gonna do what's best for their brand, not who is my closest friend from the Kardashian family. Kim was simply good for business. When Kourtney found out about this, Kim responded and said, "I shouldn't have to ask her for permission. I thought I was being really mindful. There were so many collections I didn't choose items from. She's saying every one of her friends supports her, but she doesn't have any friends. So, Travis?" And it's true. Kim's collection looks nothing like Kourtney's wedding, and like Kim said, pulling inspo from the 90s isn't that creative and it's not something only you can have.
Kourtney, it's not that original. Everyone does 90s.
You're talking about the
I agree with Kim that she didn't need to ask for permission, but I also think she could have spoken to Kourtney and given her that reassurance like, "Listen, there's this big opportunity and I'm gonna be very mindful of you and your wedding, and that whole vibe, I'm actually thinking of pulling from blah blah blah," basically. That way it doesn't seem like a shady surprise, especially because Kim was concerned about how Kourtney would feel, but I understand that talking to Kourtney may have felt like a waste of time because she wasn't going to agree in the first place or give her blessings. However, according to Kim, she did tell Kourtney that when she updated Kourtney about Skims no longer being part of the fashion show. Now I say this because the phone call between Kim and Kourtney show that these sensitive feelings are still very present in their relationship. So the end of season 3 of The Kardashians was about Kim and Kourtney butting heads over who copies who, and it also brought us the iconic scene where Kim goes,
I got married in Italy. Am I saying you copied me by getting married in Italy? Who performed at my wedding? Andrea Bocelli. Who performed at Kourtney's wedding? Andrea Bocelli. You stole my wedding country and my wedding performer.
The start of season 4 gives us a heated moment between the two because they previously said that they were over the whole Dolce & Gabbana thing, but when seeing the edits of what each party said about the other from season 3, it brought back tension, and that's why the start of season 4 starts with them fighting again about this whole thing.
Then we watch the edits for our show. Then I start hearing what she's saying about me.
It's almost like a greediness.
She hears what I'm saying about her.
But she doesn't have any friends. So, Travis?
No.
And then we get mad all over again. Ooh, it brings up so many feelings.
You're just a witch, and I hate you.
Okay.
After arguing back and forth, Kim tells Kourtney that she's a different person than the rest of them, and everyone notices it and complains about it, including her friends and kids. Then she tells her that there's a group chat called Not Kourtney to try and figure out why she's such a different person and why she has this vendetta out.
You hate us, you're a different person, we all talk about it.
I don't need you guys anymore.
Well, your kids have even come to me with problems that they have and how you are, so.
Is that helpful? You're like adding it into a fight to like have a side, like it's you and my friends and my kids and everyone against me.
Kourtney also calls Kim a narcissist and says, "I have a happy life, and the happiness comes when I get the fuck away from you guys, like especially you." That was a lot. Both of them said very drastic things to each other, and I see a lot of people saying Kim bringing Kourtney's kids into it was low, and I agree, maybe shoving someone's kids in front of them while complaining that everyone can't really stand them is wild. But Kourtney isn't some innocent lamb either. She literally called Kim a narcissist, a witch, said she hates her, said there is something deeply wrong with her and doesn't need her or the entire family.
Details, because it's all your egotistical, selfish mind can think about. You came to my wedding, you couldn't be happy.
I was so happy for you. I was so, why would I not be happy for you?
You are a narcissist. It is all about you. Anything you do, it's about you and about how it looks to the world about you.
Then, after the season 4 premiere, Kourtney addressed the group chat against her when responding to a fan. Kourtney shared images on Instagram from her Disney-themed baby shower with her friends hosted by her mom, Kris Jenner. Kim and North were also at Kourtney's baby shower. A fan asked if the friends posted on Kourtney's Instagram were part of the Not Kourtney group chat, cause if so, we don't need them there, and she responded back and said, no, the members of that chat are namely Kim, Khloe, Kendall, and Kylie, case closed. This then got some of Kourtney's friends to write back and hype up their friendship, saying that they got dragged by Kim into this when they weren't part of said group chat. When it comes to Kim and Kourtney, their personalities differ a lot, which is what causes majority of their clashes. I don't see these two and think they genuinely go out and do an action to hurt or harm the other. I don't see them attacking each other's businesses or going after each other's men or something crazy like that. It's their personalities. Kim is a worker, while Kourtney doesn't enjoy working as much. This is something she's dragged her whole family for many years, even constantly saying she wants out of the reality show, but never actually being out of it. Their work ethic doesn't mesh well at all. Let's never forget the iconic "if you had a business you were passionate about" fight that started because they couldn't come up with a day where they were all available to shoot the family's annual holiday photo shoot in 2018. Kourtney was basically claiming to be too busy to find time to come, and Kim exploded by saying she's the least interesting to look at, so she can be out. And then Kourtney did her usual fame shaming of Kim by saying she has different values than Kim, and "I choose to be a mother to my 3 kids. I'm not looking for another job. I already work enough, more than I would like to." In this whole fight, I side with Kim because if you solely work 10 times harder to keep your family name and to help benefit all your sisters because you understand what it takes to be number 1, and then you have to constantly deal with someone not agreeing to work with you and then shaming your values on top of that, then yeah, I'd also scream,
Maybe if you had a business that you were passionate about, then you would know what it takes to run a business, but you don't.
During this same fight, Kourtney goes back to the name calling and tells Kim, "You are a very distraught, evil human being. I don't agree with who you are as a human being. I don't want to see you, okay?" When Kim tries to make amends and apologize, Kourtney doesn't budge and skips out on Kim's baby shower for her daughter, Chicago. From what I see, Kourtney is too emotional to constantly deal with being in this business. And who knows, maybe there is something more she's dealing with that Kim doesn't think about, and it's what's causing her to constantly call Kim evil. But from what the viewer sees, it's Kourtney who's too hard to work with and enjoys standing in the way of Kim because it makes her feel some type of power. For example, there was another fight between the two in 2015 when Kourtney refused to let Kim use her likeness in her video game after getting the approval of everyone else in the family to be used in the same game. Everyone was happy to be on it except Kourtney, who said she didn't care to do random things and refused.
Court, are you serious?
I don't want to be in your video game.
I got it. You're not going to be in it. It's ridiculous for you to just not do that for me as a favor, because I've done so much for you.
When Scott Disick, Kourtney's partner at the time, suggested Kim buy Kourtney a pair of shoes to sweeten the deal, Kim yelled,
I'm not buying a pair of shoes. I bought her a career.
Again, she did all of that to spite Kim because after all of that, she ended up signing off and was featured in Kim's game along with the other family members. There are a few fights between them that are very sister-like though, like fighting for a few days about copying each other's styles, and then Kim apologizing by giving Kourtney her never-worn Versace dress to her birthday party. They've even fought when Kourtney started hiding out, not wanting to be filmed as much during season 17 of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And while Kourtney had valid reasons saying she didn't want to be filmed after her breakup with Scott, and that she already gave so much of her life to the camera anyway, Khloe and Kim made valid points that now they needed to hold the show on their backs because the third sister is barely giving anything to the audience. As you can see, there is an ongoing theme with Kourtney and Kim, and it's always Kourtney doesn't want to be in the limelight, doesn't want to do random things like being part of a mobile game, doesn't have time to schedule the annual Christmas photo shoot, spending the holidays away, and so much more. So it actually annoys me when Kourtney gets to clock out and demand respect for her boundaries, but shames Kim for constantly being the hardworking one simply because it makes Kourtney feel insecure. This whole, "you'll die if you're not the center of attention," is very manipulative of Kourtney because the majority of their fights stem from Kourtney having an "I don't care, I don't want to do this" attitude. I'm sure Kim wants the family to be as big as possible, and it's not about sharing the spotlight because somehow they all individually get their 2 minutes of fame. For the longest while, Kylie Jenner started being the #1 person in the family due to social media and the explosion of Kylie Cosmetics. And it was jokingly said that now Kim and Kylie were going to compete to see who could stay at #1, and yet Kim hasn't started any fights with Kylie. Kim definitely enjoys being the most famous and the richest, but she works hard for her family. She gives opportunities to her family, she doesn't take breaks, and she's the reason why people like Kourtney can choose to work or not. Because she went out there and constantly did the work. She climbed her way to the top from being looked at as someone not serious and low class due to her sex tape to someone highly respected in the fashion and entrepreneur industry. And even with all of that, Kim still has to prove she is worthy of being at the top by the likeness of other fashion industry icons. Kourtney attacks Kim from insecurity. Maybe she doesn't have what it takes, and it kills her that Kim keeps getting these amazing opportunities, and her wedding was her last straw because she felt like it was an even more personal attack. Why? Because Kourtney's husband, Travis Barker, was actually in love with Kim decades ago.
Oh!
We actually made a video about this a while ago when Kourtney and Travis first started dating. We thought it was interesting that Travis was first into Kim and a few years later he ended up dating Kourtney. Now social media even dug up a part from Travis's book where he details first meeting Kim and falling for her. Travis's book is titled, "Can I Say, Living Large, Cheating Death, and Drums, Drums, Drums." In this 2015 memoir, he wrote that he couldn't keep his eyes off Kim when he first met her in the 2000s. He reflected on when he first met Kim while he was in an on-again, off-again relationship with Paris Hilton. He wrote, "I kept on secretly checking out Kim, telling Lil Chris, his assistant, I don't care if she's a closet girl, she's fucking hot." Cause during this time, Kim worked as a closet organizer for Paris Hilton. See what I mean when I say Kim went through everything just for her sisters to also benefit? Where were Khloe and Kourtney when Kim was organizing closets and assisting A-list stars? Anyway, they had been friends for a while, and he even gave her advice for reality TV stardom because Keeping Up with the Kardashians was about to air. According to Travis, they were really sweet around each other, and with Kim he was a gentleman and it was all about respect. He would even visit Kim and her family at their clothing store Dash. Now, with all we know about Kourtney and Kim and the possible insecurity Kourtney feels towards Kim, which causes her to lash out, we can now add that her husband actually had the biggest crush on her sister. And it's not like he didn't know Kourtney existed because he used to hang around the family visiting Kim. Wild. But I can honestly say I think Travis loves Kourtney, and after Scott, I'm happy she has something special with him. I think his previously having a crush on Kim doesn't take away what he feels towards Kourtney, and we all know the best love stories sometimes have the weirdest facts or start off in the least traditional ways. But I know this is another constant reminder in Kourtney's life that it's always going to be Kim, and that Kim is #1, so now even Kourtney's own wedding designer wanted Kim. But I think if Kourtney focuses on her business, she can also have amazing opportunities, but she's too busy fame-shaming and acting as if her morals make her better than the rest of the family. I also believe the reality TV show hurts them and their family because it adds this constant pressure to be interesting and give up your life to the camera and all of that. It also makes you feel like a puppet to the viewer's eyes, and I feel like it's also why some critics have said the Kardashian show now feels more superficial and business than personal. What do you guys think? I hope you enjoyed this video. Let us know down in the comments below if you are Team Kourtney or Team Kim and tell us why. Thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and as always, I'll see you next time.